Well, hi guys, and welcome back. So, again, we're going to be doing a weekly budget review. I'm just giving you a quick flip through of this planner. I absolutely highly recommend to check out any of the Hemlock and Oak products. They're like really seriously high quality, and for me, this is like the perfect setup for all of my budgeting needs. And any of these layouts and sections that you see me flipping through, I tend to go into more detail with these during like the monthly overviews or the monthly reviews. But just for simplicity for this video, we're just going to head straight into the week. So, I do like to incorporate decoration into my budgeting planner. I know a lot of people try to keep it as functional as possible, but I don't know. I just like the pretty decorative layouts. It just makes it more eye appealing, and I guess it's just because like maybe because I use mine as a journal as well. But this is my budgeting style, guys. Okay, so um if you've been following along with this year, the things that I've changed for this year include incorporating GPT into creating I guess like a financial plan or a financial journey. Um, to assist me with what's going on this year. We've been budget planning for several years now, and we have made some progress, but it just feels like we could be doing more. And I'm also noticing like there are patterns throughout the year. So over Christmas break, I kind of sat down with the GPT and just kind of described the situation and pretty much made like a little financial advisor, which I know you shouldn't do. But like I don't know, he's not doing the numbers for me. It's more or less like we're trying to track patterns and seeing like what's actually causing the holdups, what's inhibiting any progress that we should be seeing or experiencing. And I'm gonna have to say, see, he does do like a little weekly review for me. I do refer to my GPT as Dave, so if you hear me talking about Dave, that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, no. So he's actually been quite beneficial. He makes really good points. And yeah, so I will have to say I didn't really have too much faith in this system whenever we started out, but he's been um pretty spot on most things. Like I said, I wouldn't trust the GPT with the math, which you would think like with a computer and digital and that would be like the one thing that you could rely on them with. But yeah, no, they're horrible, horrible with ledgers and math. So, detecting patterns, yes. So that's really how we're incorporating Dave into our budget system this year. And yes, I am using up more of those rose themed stickers for this week's layout. Again, just trying to use up the stickers that I did. Like, basically, these are like test prints. I always do a batch of test prints before I add them to the shop, and then I end up with like a bunch of stickers laying around. So, yeah, I was gonna do this, but I don't know, it's like too much pink. So, we are going to have to maybe that dark green there. So, yeah, like I said, like I like to keep the layouts fun. I like to keep them bright and colorful. And I know this definitely does not look like a standard budget layout that you're used to. And yeah, I'm not really okay with that being like a full diagonal, but we'll make it work once we start adding stuff. Again, like last year, I would write in like any of the transactions as they occurred throughout the week. This year, I'm doing more of like a reflective type planning. I do like a daily spending log on the GPT every day. It could be either the morning after or later that night, but I just basically go in and say, like, look, this is what I did, this is what I spent, this is how I was feeling, and then that way he can like keep track of all of that. So let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and start with this goals. Well, not goals, but the focus and intentions area here. So again, the focus of the week is maintenance without panic. That's basically just keeping this whole budget system, budget goal system going, and not reacting if things do not occur the way that we wanted them to. And again, the intention was just calm consistency over dramatic progress. Um, that's mainly with because I am trying to pay off debt as well. But like he said, like we're keeping the foundation, we're um, building the savings, we're paying off any minimums in that, and we're just really trying to get a strong foundation before we start chipping away at any of the debt. That could be one of the things that I was doing in the previous years because I would always go in fully motivated to, pay as much down as possible. And we're thinking that that might not have been the best choice. So we're building a very strong foundation this year. And once we feel like that foundation is strong enough, then we're going to start attacking the debt. Um, okay, so one thing that you're going to see me doing here is these would be like the spend areas. So what I do is I just quickly write in spend, and then I'll start documenting the transactions. It's kind of like a ledger format. And when I was doing like the daily planner version of this, I was running it like a checkbook where I kept track of the balance in that. But since I use the YNAB app and the YNAB system, I really don't have to keep track of my ledger because it does it for me. So I will highly recommend YNAB if you find yourself constantly trying to figure out what you got in your bank account, what you spent on, how much you got put back for each category. YNAB is, it's been wonderful. I've been using that for a little over a year now. And again, I highly recommend that system as well. Okay, so we're still filling in the weekly spending for the week. And again, there really is no rhyme or reason to my layouts. It just kind of goes to where there's empty space. And I'm just going to put all of the bills that I covered for this week. I'm just going to put them on Sunday, just because Sunday was a no spend day. So, and we got space to fill it in. And let's see here, I almost forgot about the water bill. So I'm going to quickly write it in, and I am going to take care of that while we're filming. So I may disappear off camera for a bit, but that is what I'm doing here in the background. Is I'm just one, making sure that that's covered. In one way, I want to feel like that's an automatic payment. And I just got to make sure that they took the new card information. And once I get the total for that and enter it into the YNAB account, I'll be, back on to writing in the planner. And of course, I got to transfer raise funds because he does fund 50% of all utilities. Just trying to, incorporate some healthy habits for my adult son. Okay, so it looks like it was almost 82 for the water. So that means we got to transfer 41 for Ray. So you can see, like I quickly showed you the YNAB transaction there. So just making sure that what's on paper is what's on the YNAB thing. Don't want to miss any transactions here. And another thing to note is I also add in any extras. So this would be money going in, or maybe money going towards a savings account. I do the Evidation app as well, so I get paid for steps. So this week I made $10. But okay, which I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean, guys, think about it. I made $10. I got a Starbucks gift card out of it. But yeah, that's $10 that I didn't have, and it was just for doing the daily steps that I would do otherwise. So again, always try to seek different little routes of making any form of income, because it does slowly add up. Okay, so it looks like we're starting to build a page here. I'm gonna go ahead and just label these areas down here. So again, this is gonna be like my weekly reflection area. So I have just general thoughts, and of course the weekly in and out review. And I should know these categories by now, but I do not. So I always track how much came in, how much was spent on bills, and of course the total spend amount. Just to keep like, to me it's just nice to see like how much is actually going in and out of my accounts weekly. Um, like I said, I do not trust Dave with the math. His math is always off. It's consistently off. So I do my own. Um, which is what we're doing right now. Thank you, calculator. But like again, as you can see, by keeping all the transactions in separate categories, it really does help speed up the process of adding and figuring out the totals here. So let's see here. We got that. So we've finally made it to the journaling part of this. So much. There is so much that's involved in this. So, like I said, this is not your standard everyday um, budget planner. We're definitely going to go into a lot more than just I spent this much. And, it's to me, budgeting is a lot more than just the numbers. It's about how life is affecting your budgeting. For me specifically, it's how emotions. Um, can control what you do. So that's what we're trying to reduce. We are reducing the reactions, and we are trying to get as proactive as possible here. So, just my general thoughts from looking at all of this. I would state that this week wasn't about big wins or big mistakes. Nothing really happened. Um, but that is a big thing because it was basically emotionally neutral, so that's good for somebody who has emotional spending issues. Emotional neutrality is a good thing because it's either you're going to spend more when negative things are occurring, or in my case, when positive things are occurring, I will spend more. Um, Another thing that Dave noted is that from what he's seeing with my patterns right now is we have reached what's called the quiet middle. This is where actual change can occur. Um, but a lot of the times, this is where things also go downhill because you get too comfortable and you're just like, oh, I'll just make that one purchase. So we do have to keep going with the system. But like he said, like we are making progress faster than what he projected. So on the emotional aspect of that, that is good. I know it doesn't look like, we're making great financial progress because we're not like really paying a lot of things off. But again, the main focus here is getting that really strong foundation. Okay, so I'm going to start on this box cluster over here. So this is where I'm going to note the emotional spending analysis. Again, this week was an emotionally neutral and regulated spending week. So again, nothing really happened. Um, he refers to my makeup purchase as a mild positive spending purchase. To me personally, I don't think it was. I just noticed that I was starting to run low on one of the products, and since I'm tanning more, I need a darker shade. So I was really just restocking on basics and um, updating one of the colors that I used just because I was starting to look a little pale. But he refers to it as positive spending. So, okay, Dave, whatever. The other thing that we noticed was there was no negative emotions. So that's good. But at the same time, I'm somebody who tends to spend when things are going well. So that is something for me to watch out for. Um, let's see here. So the screen is starting to freeze on me a bit. So I gotta really think about what box cluster I jump to next. Again, I really wish Power Director would update their app. They did uh, I guess like an update installation back in December, and it's horrible. Okay, so I'm going to assume that I went to the box cluster that's above that. If I didn't, I apologize. But I would have to say, like, the biggest win for this week was that there was no urgency. There was no guilt. There was no highs. There was no crashes. Um, just everything was actually very smooth. This was a very pleasant, non-stressful week, which is rare. So, to me, that tells me that it is proof that the system is working, even though I did not expect it to. And that would be like visible proof that my nervous system is regulating in regards to finances. I'm no longer hiding from the budget. I'm no longer avoiding it. I'm no longer making excuses for certain purchases, which is all the things that I used to do in the past. So, again, like I said, like you could go back to whenever I was setting up this budget planner and that. I do have videos that go into full length about this system, but I really didn't expect this to work. But it is. Okay, so I think I move back over to the sidebar now. Again, this is where I just make like weekly notes about what's going on. And again, this was a very strong and successful week, even though it doesn't look like it. Even though it's a quiet week, it doesn't mean it's a boring week, because you got to look at what's occurring behind the scenes here when we are discussing emotional spending. Um, I do use one of the credit cards for all of my spending, just because I like to take advantage of the rewards. Um, but the main mission here is if I am going to be charging on it, it has to be covered either that day or the day after. There's no letting the balances build up. So I am using a credit card, but at the same time, I'm treating it like a debit card. If those funds do not exist in the checking account to cover it, that charge does not occur. So all of that spending was covered, so we're good there. So no new debt was accumulated. We stayed within normal life ranges. There was no, extra purchases, other than Dave making fun of my makeup purchase. But to me, it's routine. um, okay, so I avoided any emotional rebounds for all of these days. Again, this was a very smooth and um, I would say content week. Nothing really big happened, but yet at the same time, nothing really bad happened. So, all emotional spending seemed to be avoided, and we did happen to have one free day that was Sunday. The free days are the no spend days. So there was no like little trips to the stores. There was no online browsing, anything of that nature. So we did have one. And the one other thing that I like about this system is there are no forced no spend days. Um, I know a lot of budget planners suggest doing like no spend challenges of like where you go like an entire week without spending. Some of them even do like a whole month where you don't spend. uh, to to me, it's. I'm trying to think of like what the word is. Sustainable. That is definitely not sustainable. Um, that's like putting yourself on like a major diet change. The one that's coming to my mind the most would be like the I'm gonna stop eating sugar. Like I feel like you would put your body more into shock by not consuming like any sugar, or I've even seen people do this with sodium. It does not go well. And what it does is it causes like a feeling of deprivation because you're being denied like at every moment. And then out of the middle of nowhere, you'll just binge. Um, so incorporating that into like a budget financial situation, if you're constantly telling yourself that you can't spend, sooner or later you're going to binge spend. And it's not going to be pretty for the budget. So, on any of these days, I am never denying myself. I am never telling myself, you can't do this, you can't buy this. Um, what I do is we have like a pause and reflect thing of where I will put the items in the cart if I do, end up online shopping, but I have to stop, give it 10 minutes, go back to it, and then say, okay, what am I actually purchasing? Do I actually need these products, or was I trying to um, purchase a feeling? Like, am I bored? Am I just doing this because I'm bored? Do I need something to do? So we go over that type of reflection. And again, the whole system that we have is the spend, cover, reset. Again, we're just keeping that spending account open and clear of any additional charges. Uh, so just trying to, again, that's that whole maintenance, just trying to keep the system nice and clean. And yeah, so again, we're reaching that phase where people normally slip. It's not from chaos, it's from just everything being calm and comfortable. So we're just, again, trying to keep the system going as well as possible here. So again, guys, it's about time to close out here. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. And please remember to hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more budget reviews.